So I'll call the meeting in order. Attendance is, everybody now is present. Approval of the agenda. Trustee Burgess, Trustee Sibcar, all in support?
Support.
Okay, that's carried. Declaration of conflict of interest. No conflict. Item E1, school year calendar. We have somebody to present on that?
Okay. Superintendent Hillman was going to briefly introduce that.
Good afternoon. I'm pleased to do that, and I'll give you just a really brief review of process for those of you who feel that this is a bit of a deja vu moment. This board has passed a motion previously for school year calendars, and if you'll recall at the time, the ministry announced a moratorium on approving school year calendars for this year during the pandemic, and that's the scenario we found ourselves in. On June 30th, the Minister of Education released a memo to school boards to provide new guidance and deadlines for the 2021 school year calendar. The memo stated that school boards are encouraged to start their school year by September 1st. It is also advised that boards schedule 3 PA days prior to the start of student instruction. In response to this ministerial direction, we have updated the school year calendars for 2020-2021. And this allows us to start our 2020 school year with staff on September 1st and does provide 3 professional activity days prior to student instruction. These changes have been made in consultation with our determinant board. We will maintain an identical school year calendar for the first time in my memory with Windsor Essex Catholic to maximize our student transportation efficiencies. You may note on the calendars that the November 13th 2020 PA Day in the original submission has been repositioned to September 1st. This allows for a regular instruction day on November 13th. The school year ending has been adjusted by 1 day to maintain our contractual obligations for a 194-day school year. The secondary school midpoint and exams have also been adjusted by 1 day, and that allows for a balance of semesters for students and staff. All other elements would be similar between calendars.
Okay, thank you. I have a question from Trustee Hatfield.
Okay, thanks. So during that little presentation, I heard that when you were adjusting the calendar, you consulted with, and then all I heard was a lot of crunching of paper from somebody who's not muting their phone. So I don't know what you said.
Through you, Mr. Chair, I'm happy to repeat that.
Yes.
With our coterminous partners in the Transportation Consortium. So Windsor Essex Catholic District School Board will be following the identical updated calendar for this school year as well.
But, okay, supplementary.
Go ahead.
There was no consulting with the employee groups?
The updated calendars were provided to employee groups through their presidents Friday, I believe, with respect to the changes that were intended here.
But they didn't get an opportunity for input.
During the regular consultation process from October kind of till March, they provide input on kind of all of the scenarios. So all of that information is relevant. Given the timelines we received the update, we did provide an opportunity for them to see the information Friday, but the conclusion and the preparation of this was done that quickly. So they've been provided the calendars that we've presented to them.
Okay, so apparently EDCO isn't too happy about the changes, is that correct? And that there's been no opportunity to talk to them about their concerns? I'm
happy to respond, Director Kelly, or I've not had direct interaction with them, but I've received information that they would prefer a delaying of the start for students and some other suggestions that are contrary to the direction from the ministry.
That would be correct, and maybe Superintendent House would like to speak to that.
Sure. So as Superintendent Hillman mentioned, it was sent out to all union presidents on Friday. Not a lot of time that we've had based on the minister's announcement. And we did receive feedback from ETFO only. And there were some concerns that they raised. One of them being a delay in the school year startup, which we're not in a position to do at this time. Another one being that we should potentially lobby the minister for an additional school day instead of changing the one PD day in November. And I also don't believe that we're in a position to ask for an additional school day be added to the 194 school year calendar.
Okay, so just so if I understand this correctly, so the original school calendar that we adopted as a board some months ago, that was done in consultation with all the employee groups before it came to the board?
Correct.
Okay. And then I understand this is unusual circumstances and that this happened quickly, and it appears that we didn't actually ask for a consultation this time. Is that correct?
We didn't say that we didn't ask for consultation, and we didn't say that we did.
Okay.
Due to the timing of the minister's announcement and needing to get our calendar to the ministry for approval, it was sent out prior to it being sent out to anybody, to the union presidents, and we did receive feedback.
Okay. Well,
So
I think whoever's talking to the minister down the line might at some point. I know things have to move quickly, and I know that we're in unprecedented circumstances, but I don't want to see the minister pushing school boards into situations where they have to run roughshod over their employee groups without having any opportunities for their input or concerns, because that's just not how we like to engage as a school board with our employee groups. So if there is that opportunity to express that message, I would appreciate if that could somehow be conveyed.
Okay, thank you. Was Trustee Sartori able to get on the phone?
I did join. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I just see that note from Alicia. Thank you. My next question on my sheet comes from Sarah. So Trustee Sipkar, sorry.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Through you, I missed a bit of the presentation as well from Superintendent Hillman, so I just want to be clear. He indicated that we are now in line with the coterminous board. Is that correct? Our school boards match up, or the calendars match up?
Correct.
Okay, and what did we make this shift to do that, or did that just happen by happenstance?
Well, we both made the shift. It's made the shift in response to the minister's direction.
Okay.
And we have.
Okay. Okay, that's it. That's all.
In addition, just for clarification, if I may, through you, Mr. Chair, we the proposed calendars from before were in sync as well. So we had identical calendars. We both made the same shift, so the calendars remain identical.
We both made the shift.
So I guess the supplemental I have then, is that to accommodate any sort of like efficiencies with transportation and all that kind of stuff, I guess, that whole umbrella?
Yes. So traditionally, they have had different requirements as a Catholic board than we have. So we've had some days a year where buses would run for them, but not for us, or vice versa. This year, we have an identical calendar, so that again maximizes efficiencies. The buses don't have to run on PD days because they're identical.
Okay.
Thank you. Trustee Burgess.
Oh, I'm unmuted. Okay. Similar questions, I guess, but I'd like to understand the logic, because I know when I heard the announcement from the ministry, and it didn't seem like it was yesterday, it seemed like there was adequate time to perhaps give a heads up that we would be changing it, and that the employee groups, et cetera, and parents and anybody for that matter would have some opportunity to offer, even questions. I'm wondering why we need to start. I understand the ministry direction. I don't understand why the ministry has that direction. So I'm asking why we would align ourselves with a direction coming from the ministry, which is a guideline. It's a suggestion. It's a strong suggestion. We're not obligated to do it, but same instructional days, and there's some extra PD, and I understand the PD is necessary because there's a bunch of shifts and all kinds of things that are going to happen before instructional days happen. But what's the actual logic?
I can ask Superintendent Hillman, but my understanding too is the professional development prior to students coming to school would be advisable, and so that is met with having an extra professional development day ahead of what we would have had in the past. I'm not aware of a school board who has not done this. So there may be some, but I know many, many boards have passed a similar calendar or will be passing a similar calendar.
Okay. If I could have a supplemental, Mr. Chair?
Go ahead.
Regarding transportation, and it was cutting out a little tiny bit, so you might have said something. But so I heard you say that it was unusual for us to align so perfectly with the coterminous board. And I'm sort of surprised by that because I've got a little bit of amnesia. I don't remember that. I thought that we were kind of aligned for a long time, and that it was quite an anomaly for us to have different transportation. The bonus for that, obviously, would be because we're in a consortium, we pay extra when we're only running buses and our coterminous boards aren't. That would save both boards money, I'm thinking.
That would be correct.
Okay. And we took the, okay, I just want to say, because I'm trying to understand how the negotiation happened or whatever. Was it just serendipitous that we said, okay, we're going to, do this by the guideline, and here's the 3 days, and it happens to be, here's September 1st, and this is the way we go, and we're going to move the November date, and blah, blah. And they just went along with it? Or was it a discussion that happened at West's as well at the same time?
I can respond through you, Mr. Chair. So historically, we've been able to match 6 of the 7 PA days traditionally. The Catholic Coterminous Board has a faith day that they have had to place in their year that's distinct from us, and has usually meant that we have it matched. In working with my partners in the Coterminous Boards, we were able to align that this year. So from a planning perspective, that's been the model for the last decade or so as a superintendent from those boards planning. And again, the value of this is again, not having buses run just for us on a certain PD day, because they run for them on a previous PD day. The process was for us to receive the information from the minister, again, through memo advising us. So some of the school boards were encouraged to do some things, and we were advised to schedule a 3 PD days prior to. In working with the models, I reached out to a number of boards across the province who are in similar scenarios and talked this through. This was the most effective model in our minds. I was in a position to mock that up and share with our coterminous boards that this is our thinking, and was pleased to be told that they thought that made sense and would be following that as well.
So just to clarify, they still have a faith day, but that happens to be one of our PA days or an instructional day or something?
They've built in that model by matching it through the 7 PD days for us. So I'm not sure the specifics of when they're doing that, but traditionally we would have had a September PD day, and then they would have wanted an additional one in October, and that didn't generally fit. So all of their requirements are being fit in the same number of days as ours.
Okay.
Thank you. So just before I go to the next question, I did get a media request asking about this not being live streamed, and there's a technical difficulty. Is that accurate?
Yes, that is correct. We have some technical difficulties. Carl is recording it, and it will be posted as soon as possible. We apologize.
Thank you. All right, I think we've been through the questions. Is there somebody prepared to make the recommendation as presented?
I'll move.
Trustee Halberstadt, is there a seconder? Is there a seconder?
I can be the seconder.
Okay, Trustee Cheen, is there any comments before we take the vote? Trustee Burgess.
Just in the discussion for clarification when it was presented, I know times are tight. I know that consultation is difficult. But this represents a change for everybody. People plan. I mean, I don't know. I can't tell you what's going to happen Labor Day. I can't tell you where people are going to be, whatever, whether they're going to have plans, to be at their cottage because it is phase 3 or whatever. But I think with even with short timelines, I would really like to see as a default that we always, at our first opportunity, reach out to our employee groups and to even the general public who are putting their kids on buses, etc. That's what we're wrangling about as well, right? Transportation. It's not just instructional days. So I know it's unprecedented. I know these are unusual times. I know we have tight timelines, etc. But I'm planning to support it, but I'm hesitant because I feel like we're making a decision just because it's been suggested by the ministry without any real solid reasons why we can't do it after Labor Day. So I would like to see it as a default. And I don't know how my colleagues feel on that, but I'm just going to leave that there. If anyone wants to comment on it, they can. But I think we should always make an extraordinary effort to make sure that the people that are most affected by this are in that loop. This is their professional development. They should have some say.
Does anybody else wish to comment before I call the vote?
I would, Mr. Chair.
Go ahead, Trustee Sipkar.
Thank you. I just want to echo Trustee Burgess's comments. I was surprised to receive an email from some of our ETFO group, and also then read the report that says that we did consult with local union presidents, and their position wasn't clear in this report. I also think that I really do agree with Trustee Burgess about, this being shoved down to school boards on a really tight timelines and not fully even understanding the logic. So perhaps in the actual report, explaining what the ministry directive was. I know that they didn't give a lot, but I didn't even know what it was from this report. And so I just think that there could have been a little bit more beef it up so that we really understood what the implications of this were and why we're being directed to do this. I think it makes a lot of sense to obviously work with our coterminous boards. There's all these cost efficiencies, and I'm planning on supporting it as well. But the process, I think, could have made people have a bit more confidence and understanding. And so I just wanted to echo those comments as well, because I know that I kind of had a hesitation there too. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else wish to comment before I call the vote? Okay, I will call the vote. All in support. If you could put support down the side, please.
Support.
Support.
Is there anyone opposed? Okay, that carries. Thank you very much. That is the only item on the agenda, so we are adjourned. We'll see you, I think, in 2 weeks. Take care.